going to carry on and ready for our next cube draw. We have 15 minutes left in this game. In game time, that wise there is. 15 minutes left, and I believe there's probably 2 blue cubes and 1 Russian cube. So 2 French, 1 Russian. All right, let's see here. Another thing is, I've been looking at this, and it is definitely the Russians' game to lose. It's the French don't have enough forces in the area, and by the time they get forces there, they're wasting cubes. So it might be a matter of the very last cube draw, any assaults to get into the town. It might be the game might come down to the last, very last turn. Right now, I think the French have 1 victory point hex right here. And the rest go this way. These boys here out in the open, which kind of comes into a little bit of a French strategy. We can't get no cavalry up there. Let me press pause real quick. And the cavalry can get up there is hit with movement restrictions because they're winded. So can't get enough energy in the battle area. Everybody's winded and short on attack factors. These boys here, are in full strength. So it's not helping our cause. And our last assault came up short. We were really counting on that one. So that's strike 1. We got 2 more strikes and we are out. All right, we are going to go ahead with this next cube draw. And if it's a Russian cube, yeah, it's just one of the few nails in the coffin, because they'll have time to scramble up and reinforce which is already a tough defense. All right, we got a cube here. Find out what it is. There you go. Oh, French got no excuse. French got no excuse. Now, who do we give this to? Now we have been wargaming the war game. I think we can bring some units in here to kind of stack up. We're gonna have to go for another assault here. It might have to be Legrand's activation again. We've been sitting here falling asleep at the table. As a matter of fact, I had my head over the table last night. And whoa, I'm okay. Before my head hits the board and messes everything up, yeah, I had to hit the hay. So, yeah, we do have a plan. I think it involves Legrand we were looking at last night. Oh, I don't know, maybe bringing in this force here, this boy here. Although this will be their 3rd activation. Oh, yeah, we got to look here. So I don't know if this might be illusions of grandeur. 2 movement point penalty for infantry on their 3rd act. And this will be it. They can't do anything else. And it will be in the way of anybody else getting in there. I'd pull them out, but cavalry ain't no good in towns. Really don't have any men. Well, you got to figure their activation. They're get penalized, so they only got 3 movement points, probably 1, 2, 3, and then another cube. It is probably time to call it a game in favor of the Russians. But I go through all my games, so no matter what. But yeah, I don't think the French got a chance. We'll look this over. Try to see what we can come up with. We still have reinforcements here with full movement points, but what's the shortest route to get to here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then they'll have 1 more cube. Yeah, I don't see how this is going to work. I think our only choice is for Legrand to make another push here, and for some of these units here to bail. And even if they do bail, we need 7 hexes. We'll have to see. We're going to look at it and check it out. Hopefully it won't be too much of a delay. But it is study time, and it has been study time here on this Night Quarters puzzle. We'll be back. On this little puzzle, we have to go by the rules and go through movement. One of these old boys here could throw their strength points into the fray, but they have to stop as soon as they get adjacent to this unit. So what we want to do is shift. We're going to shift one of these units over here, leaving a 1 unit stacking, 1 unit away from stacking limit, so we can move this unit into here. We're just trying to get more strength points, which is fine. I don't know if we can overcome that 2-to-1. But now here, These are two front hexes. This hex here and this hex here is this unit here's front hex. This unit can move from here to here, but he will get a chance to have a reaction fire. But he's in a town, which means he'll only be thrown with 2 strike points. So we'll take our chances on that fire. Then we'll get over here. This unit here will come back on into here, and this unit here. The only bad thing about this artillery is it really can't fire until the fire combat phase. You can't go ahead and squeeze off a round. The only way you could is a reaction fire. So we got this artillery unit here now. That's another thing I really want to hammer that unit. Let's see here. Do we give the cube to the Atpol? Hold on a second. With this heavy cavalry, but their strength is actually 7, which ain't bad. It's only 1-to-1, but we'll have some really good modifiers going against the artillery. The major, if this artillery was there by itself, it'd be a pushover. But we got Jaegers in there, so. But the only one we charge and attack, I think, is that top unit. So if he flees, the bottom one goes too. So let's check it out. Do we do our infantry plan, or do we go with our cavalry? I'm thinking we might go with the cavalry. We'll be back. Okay, now we got a second school of thought. It goes something like this. Activating the second. Chasseurs or Cuirassiers, whatever it's called. And if the main unit, the only unit that we're really going to be able to do anything with would be the one with the Atpol. And we're going to see if he can't go crashing into this artillery. Gives a little bit of a cascading effect here. He has other units, but they won't be moving much. We're just looking for him to go under there now. This unit here is in square, and ain't going to let him walk on by without squeezing off some shots. So squares can only fire 2 strength points per side. So as he moves, he'll get shot at. Once he gets here, this unit here, when you're adjacent to heavy artillery, it's ×4 their strength points, but he's a 3, so instead of 16 strength points, we got to weather a 12 strength point shot. And whatever survives that crashes into that heavy artillery, hopefully with a good result. And if that heavy artillery gets a retreat result and doesn't roll a 6, that's the only way you can limber up. So on a 6 roll, it bails or it gets destroyed, and the cascading effect starts. So now he's got other units here. Like I said, we'll be moving all these with penalties. I think this will be their second movement. Let me see here. I got no glasses on. I can't see. We got to use this tool feature. Second core. Nope, that's not what we're looking for. There you go. Second. So it'll be their second activation. A little bit of a penalty. -2 movement points. There you go. All right. So this here, 4, 5, 4s and 4s. You can see what I'm talking about here. I mean, what we're really looking at here is just this unit to send these units back. We got, I think, one more cube. And then we'll go ahead with this attack with the infantry. Mostly I'm looking to clean out and spread panic and morale is what we're looking for with the crashing into this. I'm pretty sure this might be successful. He is a regular 8. He's a 7. Won't get us a 2-to-1, but we got some good modifiers. Unfortunately, the big modifier we're looking for, the -5, is only applies if this artillery is in hex by himself. But he's got infantry to negate that modifier, which is what you would really want to do, unless you want to stack it up. And now we have had more than one artillery unit. You can stack up to 2, have a little bit of a grand battery going on there. All right, that is what we're going to do. We'll go ahead and put the cube on the second. See, how do we pronounce that? Is it the second Cuirassier? Yeah, second Cuirassier division. And the only unit that's really going to be doing anything is this unit here with the general. So we'll get some modifiers, but he's going to try to crash into here, get us a good result. If we get really lucky, these boys will bail. I think they got another modifier on their side, being at their inside of a building, so that gives you a little bit more courage. to stick around. We'll see if the modifiers implement that. There you go. We will be back, and we'll go ahead with our movement in the last 15 minutes of the game. Be back. All right. So movement has been finished. We have moved this artillery unit. 1, 2. Oh, artillery only suffers a 1 movement penalty. Let's go over here on our second activation. All right, I give up. All right, we'll attempt this one more time. Just dropped the camera, but luckily it was dropped over here. We were having a time at it. All right, let's see if we can get this battle going. It's not looking good. All right, we've had some stuff done because, like I said, this is like take 3. All right, all the heavy cavalry have moved. He's moved up. This unit here is moved from here to here. They'll get a chance to fire. This artillery was facing this way. They get a chance to pivot and meet their attacker. But more importantly, this artillery unit is what I just got done recording before I dropped the camera. So anyway, his movement point isn't as severe as the cavalry. Cavalry suffers 2 movement point penalty. He only gets a 1. And I think he's got 7 movement points. So he moved on up the slope and unlimbered. And only if you have the horse artillery are you able to unlimber and squeeze off a shot. So we could do this without it being a fire cube phase. So he's up here, he's unlimbered. Now this is light artillery. Look under the artillery tables. There you go, horse artillery, range of 6 hexes. That unit there is 2 hexes away, so that qualifies as a short distance. So we'll be throwing 4 strike points at him. Let's see what kind of modifiers we have. Infantry firing unit is in obstructed terrain. Nope, we're all good there. And we're not infantry anyway. Target is artillery. You gotta be loving that. So we'll get a -3 on this die roll. Target is not in obstructed terrain. He is out in the open. Alright, artillery firing on a column, nothing there. It's not artillery firing on a square. Not defensive fire. French infantry fire, nope. Heavy artillery, nope. But we will get that target being artillery for -3 on this die roll. Under the 4 column. Not really much to go for here. We are looking for a 9 and a -3. Oh, that's a negative modifier. Ouch. Yep, -3. Not good. All right, -3. Looking for a 9. And we got a French die. So trying to hit that little gun and a few, maybe 5 or 6 men in a hex. Good luck. I'm trying to do that, but we'll see. All right, -3, so we need the ultimate high die roll. That ain't gonna do nothing. So that was a waste of bullets, as they say. All right, we thought that would be the result. So anyway, we did what we could. Now this unit here that is in square is going to roll. At this unit just passed on by. You're not going to let them attack this artillery unit without squeezing off a shot. So we'll grab the white die since we didn't get green die with the game. And that's the ones we're using for the Russians. So let's see here now. For fire combat. Square, we already know that. 2 per direction. Die roll modifiers. Target is out to target. Artillery fire column. Nope. Defensive fire. Nope. And nope. So this will be an unmodified die roll. Under the 2 column, looking for the ultimate high roll as the Russians square tries to fire at the heavy cavalry passing by. And he does nothing. Alright, so now we will have this unit here. Russian heavy artillery. They're not a 4 strike point, they're 3. And if you look over here, adjacent strike points times 4. So that'll be a 12 instead of a 16. We'll also give them a modifier for defensive fire. So he'll get a +1. And another +1 for being heavy artillery. So +2 in this die roll under the 12 column. Anything over a 6. Ooh. There you go. Excuse the washroom sound effects. Got all kinds of stuff to do. Chores to do on this day off. Okay, let's see here. It ain't really a day off, just a little half day off. But, all right. Roll diet. Roll diet, shut up. Oh, it's a French roll. French roll. Snake eyes. With a +2, 1 for defensive fire and 1 for heavy artillery. Equals a 4. And underneath the 12 column, a 4 ain't gonna do diddly. Oh, you had your chance, French. That could be a good omen for the cavalry charge coming up next. And we'll be hammering this boy here into this boy here. The cuirassiers. Their chest plates came through. I don't know about that, but all right, just bad shot, I guess. All right, that is a good deal for the French. And we'll be back to find out the results of the last 10 minutes of the battle of the game. Be back. We're ready. We're ready. All right, so we'll start to turn off like this. French heavy cavalry rushing to the scene. This unit here sees a little break. This unit comes on up and unlimbers, squeezes off a shot, does nothing. Heavy cavalry coming on down here to square fires, does nothing. Heavy artillery whirls around at the oncoming French heavy cavalry, by mistake. Squeezes off a shot and again does nothing. So we're ready to crash into them with 7 strength points versus a 3. And I do believe this all takes place with what's called the lead unit, which is the top unit. I'm going to go check the rules on that right now, but we're looking at a 2-to-1. That's fantastic. Then we got some other modifiers right now, 2-to-1, and let me look at the rules to make sure we don't add up all units that are there. Like I said, I think it's the first lead unit, top unit, and then if he retreats, the rest of the units will retreat. Hold on a second. For that, we'll go to this table. The assaulted charge units lose 1 strength point each and retreats if assaulted infantry. The assaulted charge units retreats if assaulted by infantry. If charged by cavalry or charge units retreat, and infantry units lose 2 strength points each. Doesn't say anything about a defender holds position as defender. All right, we're gonna have to go to the rule book because this acts like we use all the strength points in the hex. We'll be right back. All right. Well, after consulting the rules, it is every unit in the hex, which means there will be the artillery unit, which has a strength point of 3 plus a unit of Jaegers, which is 3. So it'll be 7 to 6, which is 1-to-1. Ouch. Let's get it all set. All right. That changes things dramatically. I imagine that the only time that top unit comes into effect, and that only comes into effect when you have fire combat, and when he's eliminated, then you start taking strength points off the bottom unit. But all right, well, here you go. We will go with 1-to-1. No modifier for odds. Dyro modifier. Russians will get their obligatory +1 for home field advantage. We're going down the line here. Don't get no charge to the flank. Nothing for charge to the rear. Not square formation, infantry, nope. Ooh, you know what? Well, now what do we use this modifier for? I guess it'd be a top unit, huh? It's square formation, infantry and assaulted. Infantry and column, huh? Square formation, charged by cavalry, no. Infantry in line, column charged by lancers, no. Artillery alone in the hex, no. That would have been a -5. And we got no leader present, so right now we're just looking at a +1 for home field advantage. Now we'll go for the French units. And I can let you see what's going on here. I'm looking at. I'll have to read it to the camera now. For strength point loss, we didn't lose none. We're not green. Is our 1 or more cavalry at a short distance adjacent? There is, so we'll get a +2. Huh. Oh, we're wanting a 7 or less, so that's not good for us. Hold on. Is cavalry against infantry not in square? Hold on. Is one or more cavalry at a short distance adjacent? Huh, why would that be a +2 modifier? Is our... Oh, at a short distance. No, we weren't at a short distance. No, we weren't adjacent. We galloped at least one. Okay, I see what's going on. So they're not giving them a momentum on that one. All right, so we won't get that one. Where are we at here? Is cavalry against infantry not in square formation? Oh, yeah, that's right. That Jaegers. Now, do we have to give them a chance to square up, though? That's where that top unit comes into effect. Huh. Is cavalry against infantry not in square formation? I don't know about that one. Tired cavalry, yes. Yeah, so they get a +2. All right, this isn't looking good. So we get a +3. Heavy cavalry against other cavalry, no. Charging up or downhill, no. Obstructed hex, no. Leader present, minus. -2. We had a +3, so we're looking at a +1. +1. All right, hold on. Is cavalry against infantry not in a square formation? -3. Oh, you stop here. All right, well, we're going to go on with this, but we got different procedures after reading the rules. All right, besides counting all the strength points in the hex, he was right here, which is 2 hexes away. As he galloped on up here, these old boys can fire, but further, the Jaegers get a chance to go in a square. So let's see here. They need a 2-die roll of 8 or more to succeed. And the distance of the enemy units was 2 hexes. So I have a -2. Let me see here. Leader is the same hex as the forming square. Nope. Forming square is elite. Forming square is green. No, they're not. They're either on 9. Let me make sure of that, though, real quick. The Jaegers. Yeah, they're veterans, so they're no plus or minus die roll modifier on their experience. Ooh, sorry about this. So we're rolling 2 dice, and we're getting a -2 because the cavalry were 2 hexes away, so they ain't got much time to form on up. And it succeeds on an 8 or higher, so they're looking for a high roll. -2, Russian die, 8 or more. They won't get it because they'll get a -2, so they'll be in line formation. So that was a plus for the French. All right, now let's carry on with our assault. We're looking at a 1-to-1, +1 for the Russians being Russian. And now we'll go down to the let me see here. Infantry in line, column, charged by lancers, no. Oh, there is no modifier. Well, we'll go down here then. Strike point. Is cavalry against infantry not in square formation? -3. That's what we're looking for. They get the +1 for being Russian. Now it's only -2. All right. Tired cavalry, +2. So now we're looking at a 0. And now we get our leader modifier. So that's what's going to tip it. The leader here is a 2. So we'll get a -2 on this die roll for the assault against the hex containing heavy artillery and some, it says chasseurs, but I think they're Jaegers. It said in the order of battle. -2. Looking for a 7 or less. Ooh, wrong die. Gotta get the blue die for our French assault. Here you go. This could be games. Whole 2 or 3 months worth of play down to 1 hex. It's usually the way it is, huh? All right, we'll see what's up. -2, looking for a 7 or less. And when it comes down to it, it's just a matter of the leadership modifier. -2. Oh, they don't get it. We get an 8. Oh, the Russians win this game by holding when it comes time for their assault. There were some good die rolls, good chances for the French to do what they needed to do. And it just came down to die roll, and it was bad. So we see that it is a 6, 7, 8 result. 8. The defender holds a position, but both the attacker and defender take 1 strength point loss. Now, the strength point loss, it just said in the rules when there's artillery and infantry in the same hex, you wear down the infantry first. That's what they're there for. So we'll take 1 strength point off the cavalry and 1 strength point off the infantry that's underneath this artillery right there. We'll be back. All right, heavy cavalry from a 7-2, a 6. The Jaeger unit here going from a 3 to a 2. That's how it'll look. All right, that is the cube. Wow, I think that's game. We'll go through the rest of when we come back, cube draws. I think that's going to be it, and I think the Russians will win the night quarters battle. Wow. All right, I think that is it. Let's make sure we did everything right. We'll be back. All right, well, I think we're ready to make it official. It has been a couple of days, and I have come by and looked at the situation a few times, and I don't think there's any way, or I'm positive there's no way I can get 7 hexes. Even if these boys here do retreat, if we do draw the cube, let these boys attack again, when they retreat, there's no way we can get 7 hexes or 7 town spaces, victory point hexes. So, like I said in an earlier video, we will call it a game, and the Russians have held out. Definitely had a good defense in that town of Eylau. Now, we're going to clean this all up. It'll be a while before I have time to set this up. I have to look at the rules because it'll be an expanded game when we come back. Or when we have another video, it will be the actual Eylau battle. We'll have to pick out the scenario, and like I said, there's other rules that will be incorporated that will make it even, well, I don't say it's too complex, but it'll make it a little bit more complex, and I'm curious about the rules in which it simulates a courier going out to each army group and giving the orders. The orders aspect of the game is expanded. So we'll call this a video, and that'll be it. Had a great time with this game. Of course, it took me way too long to play it. But yeah, we came down to the last 2 cubes. Like I said, no way we could really capture any more of the town. Now we have this little town here of Friedheit, I guess is what you want to call it. But the victory conditions were whoever has the most town hexes of the actual town of Eylau. And I don't know if you can see it here, but most of the town is up here on the hill, and a little bit of it comes down here in the flats, and that's what we're really fighting for. Is this part of the town that was more in the flats, and work our way up. But yeah, they had a town on a hill, a little bit of a fortress, so that would have made it even more difficult to capture. All right, that'll be it. Great time, great game. Can't wait to start the next segment of Eylau and on this channel. Yeah, we don't play games 3 or 4 games a week. Oh my God, I don't know how they do it. The Players Aid guys are in another universe. Other than that, we can't wait to get started. Our other one, it is a Russian victory. They beat the French and held out. Be back.